Well, we came up with that decision at the end of the day as promoted by our resource guest, Mr. June Estrella. He was saying that, well, maganda naman, it sounds feasible. That's if this government or the new administration will allow. Is it important that you and I know the truth? Is it important that every politician get to know the truth? The answer is yes. Will it hamper our democracy? I think it will only strengthen our democracy and resolve. So at least this way, all itong mga kuro-kuro mga salita-salita mawala para malaman talaga natin sino talaga nanalo. And meantime, while we're doing that, those that will be proclaimed President Noynoy and Vice Mayor Binay can sit there because after all, both of them seem to have what do you call the firm resolve anyway of what we call integrity. So let them sit and go through it. Now the problem is, well, alam mo, ganun din yan, I guess if you're the winner, you don't want to be subjected to a re-election, just in case mawala pa sa'yo. But is the truth important to these people that have the mandate? It should be, because it's for the rest of the Filipino people. But whether what is true and good will be followed is another question, another point of view. In the second part of this show, I'm going to do a short monologue. I'm not going to go through the whole time. I'd like to talk about another issue. I was present yesterday in a forum that we will be showing, if I'm not mistaken, already shown this afternoon. No, tomorrow it'll be coming out on GNN. We covered a forum called Sex Education, which is presented by the KBP, that's the Media Association of Broadcasters. The Teachers Association, there was a representative of the Public School Teachers Association. We also had the Secretary for Department of Education, Mona Valisno. On the KBP side, you had its chairman, Ray Langit. I'm not sure I remember the representative, the name, Mr. Basas, who represented the teachers. And we had a legal representative, meaning an attorney for the CBCP, the position of the CBCP. If I'm not mistaken, his name was Alex Imbyong, but I could be mistaken. I'd like to make a small commentary about that forum. While the DepEd made a very nice presentation of basically the curriculum that will be taught in the schools called sex education, which I found a very straightforward, if not scientific. Everybody in the room seemed to be in full agreement. Not only me, but together with the chairman of the KBP, together with the Association of Teachers. Then came the highlight, which was the presentation of the CBCP. From the way I saw it, Attorney Alex presented the point of view of the church and the Catholic bishops group, and I couldn't work out or understand exactly the position of the church. So I went up and asked the question, ang posisyon nyo ba, ang simbahan, posisyon ng simbahan na hindi tutol sila sa sex education sa grade 5, grade 6, grade 7 sa mga public school, is maliciousness? Ibig sabihin, ang tingin ng Pilipino pag tinuturo, there's so much malice, so much so the church is saying, do not teach sex education? As I asked this question, I was baffled by the reply of the legal man or the attorney representing the church. Sabi niya, hindi yun hari, mali eh. Ang posisyon ng simbahan, hindi kasi sa malice. It's not based entirely on malice. So he went on again for another 15-20 minutes trying to explain the position of the church. At the end of that 15-20 minute presentation, I was more confused because he was citing, let's see, the Constitution, he was citing our culture, our heritage, and everything else. So again, I was compelled to go up to the microphone and ask another question, which really wasn't a question, but basically a follow-up in trying to find out, ano ba talaga position mo? Is what you just said you presented, is morality now your position? Kasi immoral, yung ba ang position nyo? Kasi parang nalilito ako, parang napakalapit. There's a thin line between what we call RH bill, the reproductive health bill, and the sex education that's being introduced by the DepEd. You seem to be muddling it. You can't tell one from the other the differences. Again, he stood up and said, no, mali. And he went on and on and on. That's exactly what happened, and the more I got confused. At that point of the show, of the forum, I went up and I wanted to go one more time, go up to the mic, but at this point, nakakahiya na kasi marami naman media ando dun sa kwarto, nagtatanungan lahat kami. Kasi everybody, all the questions now were trained straight to the CBCP representative, asking him, ano ba ang problema mo? Bakit gano'n? Ang ganda naman ng presentation ng DepEd. It's basically very scientific. That's correct. My question was, as I put up, let me see, it's sex education promoted by the Department of Education. And to my point, it's sex proliferation promoted by media. Now, the rest of the people in the room picked up on media to be the internet. Kasi there's porn in the internet and whatnot. So I decided to keep quiet and let it go. But my real question I wanted to put out, which is why I'm doing this in this program, is not sex proliferation the role or the standard today in TV and radio? Don't we have a lot of what we call gay speak, gay talk, mga kabaklaan naririnig natin sa radyo? I mean, does that not introduce malice, di ba? On TV, with the short skirts, the gyration of the models, the short skirts, the pretty girls, especially during the noontime shows, does that not promote morality, immorality, and as well as malice, malicious thinking for the kids, the youth that watch this? Bakit hindi habulin ng simbahan yung gano'n, yung media? Hindi. Ang hinahabol nila ngayon yung position dito sa DepEd. Ladies and gentlemen, I believe that pursuit of knowledge is the singular role of the Department of Education. And I think they're doing a good job at that. I'm not going to say this specific secretary is better than the older one, the previous one, or the one previous to that. But yes, we already have sex education to begin with. The improvement of the sex education or the modules that will be introduced into the many classes, not a specific class yan po, papasok yan in and out, the many different subjects, even in math. I was perplexed. How do you teach sex education in math? But there is, you know, this is the computation, for example, of reproduction for humans and whatnot. I find that the presentation of the Department of Education is well on hand in pursuit of knowledge. Tama po yun. I think it's correct. I find that the position of the church is really baffling, walang tinutungtungan, and going nowhere. Well, this is a problem for me, and I wish you'd watch the show. We taped the whole series, the whole forum. It was for about 2 hours uninterrupted, so you can watch this on GNN, if I'm not mistaken, on Monday in the afternoon. It's called Sex Education by the Department of Education. Watch it and find out and see for yourself. This controversy is going around right now, and many people in media, and you should question it yourself. Why should we deprive, or why should we stop the Department of Education with the promotion of what we call pursuit of knowledge? Well, there you are. I wanted to make that short commentary before we go on into anything else, or before we end this program. Tonight is a short program, but I wanted to create that short comment. I'm not going to bore you with my face going on to you and just telling you on and on. I hope you did understand. I hope you enjoyed our program, and I hope we've all learned from all the different issues that are facing us. Going back, a quick summary would be election fraud, what to do with it. Well, the answers were put out. And if I'm not mistaken, we're covering it tomorrow, so you'll be able to watch it, if not Monday or Tuesday, that coverage in the Polo Club, where they're going to present new evidence of what we call election fraud. The funny part there is there's going to be Nikki Perlas there together with Jambi Madrigal and whatnot. Alam ko, sasabihin ka agad na marami, natalo mga yun eh. Tapos ngayon, nagre-reklamo. Parang ganun lumalabas. Pero pakinggan po natin, ang pinag-uusapan dito yung sistema ng eleksyon, hindi yung mga natalo na personalidad. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed our program. My name is Harry Tambuatco. Thank you very much. Stay with us. We have much more for you right here in GNN.